Season of the Deep has just launched, and with that came all of the changes to exotic armor pieces that Bungie highlighted in their blog post a while back. One certain exotic that really caught my eye on that one was the Titan Gauntlet's Second Chance. They changed Second Chance from just being able to pierce anti-barrier shields and giving you 2 charges, to now also giving you your melee charge back when you stun an anti-barrier champion. This change is absolutely what this exotic needed, as it now allows you to stun anti-barrier champs and maintain your charges. If you enjoy this build, dropping a like and subscription to the channel greatly helps me out. Plus, it's free. Now let's get right into it. Our subclass is going to be the start of the build as per usual, and we're going to start off with the bubble for our super. Then we have the barricade of your choice. Then we got the shield throw and vortex nades. Our aspects are both going to be controlled demolition and then offensive bulwark. This will allow us to have faster grenade charge and melee damage while we have an overshield, which when we pair this with the season artifact and our subclass will be a lot. Offensive bulwark will then allow us to create a ton of void explosions when we defeat volatile targets, granting us and allies health when ones explode nearby. For our fragments, we are going to build into void breach spawning as well as volatile rounds and devour. We're going to start with the Echo of Expulsion to start, then Echo of Starvation, Echo of Provision, and Echo of Instability. This pairing will not only allow us to create explosions from void ability kills, but then it will also allow us to create breaches by defeating volatile targets thanks to an artifact perk, while also granting melee energy when we damage enemies with our vortex nades. Then we can either grab an Orb of Power or avoid breach to get Devour. Moving on over to our stat distribution and artifact perk suggestions, I would focus into Resilience, Discipline, and then Strength so we can utilize our ability spam to the max. For the artifact, we have a few really strong mods here that pair perfectly with this build. In the second column, grab Authorize Mods Void and Melee. And then in the third column, grab Onto the Breach. In the fourth, Protective Breach. And then in the fifth, grab Supernova. These will allow us to utilize volatile rounds to spawn void breaches and then refresh our overshield and then cause a large weakening pulse shortly after picking up a void breach with our next source of void damage. Finally, let's take a look at some weapons to run and our armor mods. One weapon that will really excel in this build is going to be Wave Splitter. Not only does it weaken when it's in its supercharged state, but it will also utilize volatile rounds, making a perfect choice for this build. Not to mention, we also have Overload Trace as an artifact mod this season, so you can immediately stun Overload champions with it. In the kinetic slot, if you have some Osmosis weapons, such as the Fatebringer from the Vault of Glass raid, you can have another weapon to use volatile rounds on. Not only that, but hand cannons are an unstoppable perk this season as well. In our heavy slot, I would recommend a Void weapon, and I really like to use Void machine guns with this, so we can get a lot more volatile round damage. However, linears are also a great call too. Now, for our armor mods, we're going to start on our helmet, which will have a harmonic siphon and 2 hands-ons. Since we have 2 melee charges, we will be able to get even more super recharge off of our charged melees and then spawn orbs with void weapons. On the gauntlets, Focusing Strike, Heavy-Handed, and then Momentum Transfer. This will allow us to recharge abilities faster and spawn orbs with charged melee final blows. On our chest, we have 2 resistance mods and a charged up, so this way we can resist more damage and have an additional armor charge, bringing the total up to 4. Our boots will have 2 void weapon surges and an invigoration. This will allow us to have more void weapon damage when we have an armor charge, and then also gain melee energy from picking up an Orb of Power. Finally, on our class item, we have an Outreach, the new Powerful Attraction mod, and then Reaper. These will allow us to get melee energy from using our barricade while also picking up any orb in a radius around us, as well as spawning an orb next time we get a weapon final blow after using our barricade. I've already fallen in love with this build and will definitely be in my arsenal for the future, as this buff to Second Chance really brought it up to the power that it needed to be viable in content. If you try this build for yourself, then let me know down in the comments below. And if you want to see some more of my content, be sure to go check out both my Twitch and TikTok, which will be linked in the description below. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.